There's our first key for the scene. Seems pretty fitting since we're doing key sanity. Not the most impactful key maybe, but it's a nice key to have after all. Both are doing the fake flippers over to the potion shop, because that way you can check one entrance that is pretty far out of the way. And after that, they're probably gonna check this normally a fairy cave and see what's in there, and potentially do a hula hand as well, just to get some early money so they can maybe buy some bombs, get the bottle vendor in Kekriko. Kohrek getting a little bit behind there at the start, not getting the fake flippers first try. And here we see the next fake flipper in order to use the fake flipper over to the next area so they don't have to walk all the way around.
So I'm not as familiar with this mode, so where would you say you'd expect them to go early on as far as, you know, checking entrances and that sort of thing?
So the start that they're doing right now is pretty common, just because it can be hard to get money, and it's nice to have if you find a shop, because bombs can be pretty hard to get as well. After this, maybe both of them, wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe head to the castle just to get that out of the way. There's never really a super convenient way to do that, and that way you get a triple as well. And after that, I think it's pretty much open. You can go wherever you want. Kekriko is pretty common place to go, just because there's so many entrances there, so it's pretty likely to find something good at least. But we might see a saving quit as well, just to see where escape is, especially if they manage to get some bombs, because it might be able to go to back of escape right away.
Yeah, and another feature of the entrance rando is that you saw them go into that drop right there. All the caves that have a drop and then one exit, they're all linked. I want to say there's 8 of them, but
yeah, I think there's 8, and one of them includes Ganon, which we just saw here in Sanctuary, or in the Uncle Tunnel. So at the very least, you're never gonna have a hard time finding Ganon, unless he happens to be vanilla or behind the lumberjack, I guess.
yeah, and I believe this is crystal goal as well, which means they only have to get 7 crystals in order to fight Ganon. They don't necessarily have to go up and fight Agatu. They may have to if they need to get to the vanilla Ganon location, which may lead to another place that has a required item. But once they get the 7 crystals, they can just drop in and fight Ganon.
Yeah, exactly. And now we see the divergence happening right away. Kohrek saving quitting to Sanctuary just happens to be right at Kekriko, which is really nice. There's 2 options for it to be really close here in Kekriko. And P-Train is taking some other routes right now. Did find the Aga entrance, and wow, the mirror. Mirrors is really nice to have in Crossroad, just because you can. There's so many extra mirror locations, and you might end up in the Dark World as a bunny as well, which the mirror can be really nice to have at that point. Looks like the Smith didn't move too far away. He just bought another house closer to town. But yeah, that mirror is really nice. Definitely one of the better early items you can find. Mirror and hammer is like 2 of the really big ones. We found desert there. Kohrek does have the small key to desert, but P-Train does not have that yet because he didn't save and quit to Kekriko. Kohrek also managed to find one of those shops and actually found another part of desert. The one closest to the key door as well, so that's pretty convenient. Let's check these 2 real quick. That's gonna have to use the bombs to kill the enemies, but these enemies aren't too hard to kill with bombs, especially not when you get a refill. Yeah, this is one of the fun parts of watching these races, I think, is there's like so much potential for divergence. You can go anywhere really, because any place could be the right place to go to.
Yeah, and I think we learned from Sasrala that the green pendant is at Pod, because in Key Sanity, you don't know what the dungeon prize is until you find the map. The music is randomized, and the map that you can check won't show it until you find the actual map in the game. So that's some useful knowledge to have.
Yeah, for sure. It gives a nice extra value to the maps, which normally has no value at all. Even the compasses have a small type of value as well. Not in the same degree, but it shows how many chests that you have checked in a dungeon, which can be nice when you're running the dungeon if you forgot how many items you got or something. It's not like the most important part, but it could be helpful. And we're finding the Meyer area, so yeah, here's one of those locations where the mirror would really help a lot.
Yeah, and another aspect to the Crossworld part of it is the game can you expect you to sort of walk through the Dark World as a bunny to get to progression items, even if you don't have the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, there's plenty of options or possibilities for that to happen, both to traverse the dark world as a bunny, but also even to get items and stuff in the dark world potentially. And almost all the connectors, as long as you don't have to like lift up anything, is in logic as a bunny. Not quite all of them, but most of them. So we saw Kohrek so far, skipping 2 hint tiles that he found. It's because so far in Crossworld entrance or in entrance at all, on the website at least, there's the hints have not been implemented yet. So we won't see any hints in this one.
That's right. Looks like P-Train cleared out most of Eastern at the race game house to the Nola there, but didn't have bombs, so he didn't go too far, and of course didn't have the bow or the big key.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting the place where he mirrored out, but it makes sense at the same time. You might not want to dip too far in yet. Kohrek doing escape right now with the bombs, getting the flute. Might not be a required item, but it's really nice, especially this early on, used for routing purposes. You're gonna see a lot more routing choices being made than in a normal game mode, just because this takes longer. You have to check more entrances and stuff. So anything that can help with routing is really appreciated for sure. And so that flute was in the first chest. That one is on logic. These other chests that Kohrek is checking right now is technically not in logic until you have the Hyrule Castle small key. So whatever he finds here would technically be a sequence break right now. But I think we're going to see both our runners use sequence breaking probably as much as they can, just because you don't want to have to double dip too many things if you don't have to. Oh.
Yeah, and looks like P-Train found the middle entrance to Turtle Rock there on the eastern side of Death Mountain, but didn't have Pain of Samaria and didn't want to get hit by those lasers, so he headed right back.
Yeah, no weapons, no keys to Turtle Rock, probably is skipping that for now. Kohrek had to reset the ball and chain guard room here, kind of misused some of his spots, but now got the last chest there and just setting up for Death Warp. Featuring finding one of those early locations that are pretty nice to use to farm some bombs. He didn't find it in shops yet, so it was a good opportunity to just get the bombs. I think just in general, bombs are a little bit more valuable here because you're going to need to use more bombs than normally, and it might take a while before they get any weapons as well. Ooh, this is a really nice location for P-Train to find 5 items in here, so hopefully one of them is good raid.
Yeah, and it looks like Kohrek is trying to get to the Dark Cross chest. Only has one bomb. It's a little tricky, but it's nice to just clear that out. Like you said, just clear out as much as you can when you're there so you don't have to double back. And P-Train finds a fire rod.
Yeah, and small key to Turtrock as well. Maybe he'll head back into that Turtrock entrance and get to the chest that he can get right now. We'll give him some full magic in there as well, so that would be pretty nice. Since the fire rod is one of his few sources of damage right now. Looks like P-Train is gonna skip that for now. See where he decides to go next. Kohrek is having a little bit of trouble here and is down to half heart now. Or did he already get the item and he's just trying to death warp? Can't tell. Because he doesn't have any bombs for any death warps. Since you're gonna have to get hit by a rat if that's what he's intending to do.
And P-Train heading to the back of the tavern. I think that's one of the entrances in the game that's always vanilla.
Yeah,
because
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's the only entrance where you walk down into a door, so it has to be vanilla.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the only backdoor entrance, so that one will always be vanilla. Link's house will always be vanilla. That's about the only guarantees you have. Parts of the front of Skullwoods will be vanilla too, or well, it will be shuffled within itself. They have 3 entrances and the drop downs. So all of them will be shuffled within themselves, but they will always be in that area just because the number of drop downs. But the back can be wherever really.
Yeah, meanwhile, P-Train is coming in a desert, checking the same chest that Kohrek did a bit ago. Gets a big key here. Gonna take a death.
Oh, and I forgot he has the fairy. He actually also has the mirror, so he could have used mirror down. Oh, there's Ice Palace. That's a spicy dungeon to find this early. We do have the fire rod, so there's potential for something to be in there.
Yeah, we can get through the door and get a few of the chests, depending on the key layout. Gonna need the hammer to get the east side chests and to kill Cold Stare. It's also a pretty tricky dungeon to go in with low health.
Ooh, this is one of those nice early drop downs to find, especially when you get a sword. But yeah, this probably the most lucrative early drop down, or well, drop down location overall that you can find 5 items. I did find a small key to Castle Tower. We do know where Castle Tower is, so it's interesting. Now P-Train making a return trip to Sashla. Found that earlier, but had no bombs. Getting Quake could be important potentially. We already saw Meyer has Ether, and we don't even know if there's anything in those entrances. So Lumberjack today is the Forest Thief, and he has one, a Green Rupee. Okay, that's probably a load off their mind. It's always nice when you can at least see what's in there. Like, sometimes you only get like Magic Bat or something and you have no idea if it's required or not.
This is another decent find. Kohrek going into Paradox Cave. So there's 6 chests in here you can check.
Yeah, we're finding a lot of these early, a lot of these like big item density areas fairly early here. But yeah, because of it being key sanity and all that, it's just makes it less likely that they will be as stacked as they might be in a normal game mode. Also, Kohrek opening 7 chests, but not really getting much from it. Ooh, that's an interesting connector that takes us to the East Dark World. That is pretty nice. You can get to Pyramid from there, which is a pretty good mirror spot. There's free entrances up there. Also, the item on the Pyramid Ledge is in logic, just like it is when you kill Ag in a normal seed. So that could potentially be something that's required from them without the Moon Pearl. Oh, P-Train is going into Ice Palace. Checked at least the first chest. Might even go further. We do have a small key in here. Nice full magic from one of the enemies that he killed there.
Yeah, that's pretty convenient.
Yeah, speaking of convenient, dropping some bombs against Pengators and getting all the bombs back again.
Yep, and looks like he's continuing in Ice Palace. Kohrek finds another pretty high volume spot, the mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah. Just using that flute to get up to Death Mountain, which is a pretty high value place overall as well. Kind of like Kakariko in that sense that it just has tons of entrances, so something is bound to be good. The only kind of unfortunate thing with Death Mountain, it's gonna kind of remind a little bit of Inverted, is that you're gonna have to climb up and drop down and climb up and drop down over and over again in order to check everything.
Yeah, P-Train gets his flute in Hyrule Castle. Looks like Kohrek trying out a dark room. I'm not sure which one it was, but I think there's a couple extra dark rooms, a couple connectors that you do that you typically would do in non-entrance rando.
Mm-hmm. I think he tried to do it because the old man. Oh, there's the boots in Hera. That's a nice early find, I'd say. But yeah, you're guaranteed to have the old man somewhere up here on West Death Mountain, so he probably just assumed that was going to be the cave. But since he took a fall early on, maybe that was another one. Well, Moon Pearl 2. That's a stack. Hera.
Yeah, two very nice finds there.
Yeah, for sure. So here we see another dark cave, and this one is the old man. So yeah, the other dark cave probably just tricked Kohrek for a second there. P-Train having the fire rod, we might be able to see what was in here now. In the dark sewers chest in escape. It's also interesting. We're returning the old man now, but we have no idea where it's gonna put us when we save and quit. So that's always nice. Like just returning him home is gonna give you access to more entrances.
Yep, and Kohrek can get the bottom chest and hookshot cave with just the boots. And it looked like just rupees in the Dark Cross chest.
Okay, yeah. So if Kohrek missed that one, he didn't really miss out, really. Kohrek's gonna have to be a little bit careful here, though. Even if he were to take a death here, though, having the fluid, it's not really that hard to get back up again. P-Train finding an connector up to the other part of Death Mountain. I'm not sure if Kohrek ever checked that one.
Yeah, and looks like P-Train's still a bunny in here because I think the game only checks if you have the Moon Pearl or what your bunny status is when you exit a door, compared to when you enter it, it doesn't check.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if you enter as a bunny, then everything inside is gonna... Like if you enter from the Dark World, everything inside is gonna act like if you were in the Dark World. It changes some of the enemies a little bit in terms of their damage values as well, so you're gonna have to be a little bit extra careful if you're entering from a Dark World, especially when you're still in Greenmail. I think it's mostly like the rats and the bats that changes. Anyone played Inverted just when it was just got released, when you climbed up to a Death Mountain, the bats did like 2 hearts of damage. That was because they acted the same way. But that's always the thing here in entrance. So P-Train is going up Death Mountain as well. It's gonna be happy about that. I'm gonna find some nice stuff here. We saw some flippers on Bumper Cave, or Bumper Ledge there. We don't know how to get there yet, but yeah, it's gonna be something to keep a lookout for. We're gonna need some kind of connector to take us up there.
Yeah, and another thing you might notice is sometimes they won't menu, they'll just switch to items without that. I think for entrance rando, they let quick swap is allowed, so you can just press L and R to sort of just quickly switch your item without opening the menu. Save a little time just because it is kind of a longer mode.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely takes a lot of skill to perfect menuing with quick swap as well. Definitely rewards you for thinking ahead from like what item is I'm gonna do I want to use. So you can use the pre-menu to that with the quick swap.
Looks like P-Train is using his boomerang to navigate around the dark room since he doesn't have the sword. I'm not sure which cave he was in.
Yeah, he went into the same cave as Kohrek did earlier, and I think he's getting a little bit tricked as well now. He's thinking this is gonna be the old man cave, but quickly realizing something is wrong here. This is not normally what happens in the old man cave. So P-Train taking a diff there, but equipping the flute right away, so might be heading back up there again. Hopefully he will, because we do know what's up there in Hera. So yeah, it looks like P-Train is just gonna give it another go.
Kohrek checking the bonk rocks by Link's house. Nothing there this time, but that's one of the trickier entrances. When I started playing Entrance Randomizer, it's easy to forget about because you never have to go there, either in NMG or in a regular rando raid.
Yeah, for sure. There's also one in the Dark World at the Link's house too, or well, the bomb trap, I guess. It's one of those extra things that the boots opens up for you.
And Kohrek coming in to check this chest in Aga Tower. Since this is key sanity, the two chests in here can contain items instead of keys, which they'll always have in the more standard modes.
So Kohrek is getting spit out in one of those bonk rocks, but do have the boots already, so can just head back in if they want to. But we'll see if he goes back there, because no. So that's unfortunate. I think Kohrek was like literally right next to the mirror after doing that ag entrance, but kind of skipped out on that one.
Yeah, another thing about entrance that you'll notice is some of the doors that are like closed or just entrances where there might be rocks. It will just kind of spit you out and you can't head back in if you don't, if you don't have boots or you don't have a glove, for example.
Ooh, this is a pretty nice entrance. Kohrek wasn't able to check this because it didn't have the mirror. Yeah, Laser Bridge, it's not the most fun to do Laser Bridge with this loadout, but yeah, it's definitely like 4 items you can get right now, even though it's not in logic. See P-Train going for some bomb strats here to get rid of the beetle. Even if that didn't push him down, it would have been enough to stun him at least. Ooh, there's a hammer. Oh, this is crazy. Petron has boots, mirror, and hammer, and flute, and moon pearl. At 30 minutes in, what is to see?
Yeah, that's a pretty nice find.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy actually. And totally possible that the mirror is the way to get that hammer. Kohrek is in the right dungeon for the hammer, but it's not going to be able to get it going from this way.
Yeah, also did a little minor glitch there where he went in the entrance where the big chest is, but sort of bonked over the rail to get to the other side. Kind of a convenient way to get through the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Kohrek kind of destroyed the spirit of that Pokey after he got the stun off. He just was bouncing around really slow and sadly. Kohrek is pretty much monster confirmed.
Alright, E-Train heading back into the Hookshot Cave. He's gonna get the bottom chest and might try to hover to the rest of the chests.
Yeah, looks like it. This could be pretty substantial if there's something important here to get this sequence break to hookshot. Okay, nicely done, and gets rewarded by a compass to Eastern. Nice. Petron can now totally count how many items he checked in Eastern earlier.
Yeah, well done there. And to answer a question in chat about the mode, if you've just joined us recently, this is Crossworld Key Sanity. So the entrances are randomized, and any location with more than one entrance or exit can take you between the worlds. And then on top of that, all the keys and the dungeon items are mixed up in the item pool as well.
Mm-hmm. And Petron went to the other side of Hookshot Cave, and it was up to Bump Ledge to get those slippers. And also has the mirrors and can now do the Spiral Cave, which was in the Lighthold version of it. This mirror and just like some of the routing decisions that Petron is making right now is really paying off in a big way. We're getting a lot of items, but we're not getting like any keys for stuff or dungeons. We're even finding a lot of dungeons actually. I guess we found a few, but
yeah, at this point, I think we've seen just Eastern, Desert, Turtle Rock, Ice Palace, and then Castle Tower, I want to say. So still plenty more to find. And P-Train talking to the bomb shop owner there, and he tells you what the 5 and 6 crystals are, which will give you the big bomb. And in this case, it's pretty useful as well, since our runners don't know what the crystals or the dungeon prizes are until they get the map. But so Desert Palace and Misery Mire, I think, are 5 and 6.
And Kohrek finally getting that mirror, so that's definitely a step in the right direction. See how long it takes before it goes back to some of those mirror spots though. And there we had Ice Road Cave, but it was unfortunately the wrong Ice Road Cave, not the one that gives you the item. I see P-Train switching to the mirror here because they don't have the mitts yet, but they could get that one entrance that is blocked by those. Oh, I guess we're gonna leave that behind. Maybe that was one of the connectors that took us up here earlier.
And Kohrek finds Gina's cave here in the, I believe that's a chess game, vanilla, but gets half magic.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet to have. Kohrek doesn't have too many magic items yet, but we'll definitely find them eventually. And at that point, half magic is going to be pretty thankful to have. Something that Kohrek has that P-Train doesn't have yet, because P-Train never went to the forest, so he haven't picked up his sword yet. Now that hasn't mattered too much, but it is a pretty reliable, reusable weapon. I guess P-Train does have the hammer, so it's actually not too bad. But it's definitely nice to have the sword when you're dashing around everywhere.
Yeah. Kohrek is making his way through Eastern, which P-Train did a little bit earlier. I think P-Train mirrored out before the vanilla big key chest since he didn't really have a decent weapon at the time, so we might get to see that.
Yeah, we'll find out soon if there's something of importance in here or not. Oh, and there's a lamp. So no more dark rooms for P-Train. P-Train getting all the fire sources. Kohrek doesn't have any of them yet. If this is a game mode that people are interested in trying, I would definitely recommend try and learn the dark rooms, because yeah, we've seen in normal modes how like elusive and hard it can be to just find the lamp normally. In this mode it can be a lot worse. Did see a cape on the race game. We do have access to get that cape, and I do believe we found one part of Bumper Cave already. And that cape would actually also let us in where Aga normally is, where P-Train is actually heading right now.
Yeah, and we see P-Train found Misery Mire at the Dark World Lake Hylia bomb shop there. Could have gone in with the boots, but chose to leave it for a little bit later.
Yeah, it did have 6 items that it could have gotten, but he's doing some more world checking right now, and might just head back there later on. We have found a number of pretty nice connectors that just takes us to all parts of the Dark World. And I think this is gonna let Kohrek get his fire rod, so that's pretty sweet. I'm gonna have at least one fire source, which is definitely important for some of the dungeons that requires it. Oh, and here's another dungeon that we could. Well, I guess we can't actually do much here. It's only a free chest that we can get right now. Unless P-Train is feeling up for some sequence breaking, could actually go all the way to Ice Armos if they sequence break the hook shot for the left side. Could either use the bomb jumps, or we did see P-Train hover earlier, so it could also hover the gaps instead.
Yeah, and finds the silver arrows on the torch. That's pretty nice. Looks like he took an intentional death there. Might not want to sequence break it just yet. Or maybe not.
Yeah, maybe just wanted like a refill of his health in case he takes some falls or something. Or if he's intending on bomb jumping, the health is pretty important at that part. We are still in green mail, so each bomb would do 1 heart. So what we see P-Train doing here first, the bonking here is totally in logic. So you could get to the firebar rim chest in logic by just bonking. It's another big key for Palace of Darkness. We haven't found that dungeon yet, but whenever we do, that's one of the big ones. Has 14 items inside it, so it's the most items you're gonna find in a dungeon, except for Ganon's Tower. So yeah, this just isn't logic, and it has a big key for Skullwoods. Okay, that's pretty interesting. That big chest could technically have hookshot then.
Interesting, yeah. Looks like P-Train is going to go a little bit further. This is another sequence break too. He's going to have to do a bomb jump to get over to Rando Room and maybe go into Ice Armos.
Yeah, if it decides to go all the way to Ice Armor, it's going to be interesting to see. That fight, we're pretty low percent at this point. We do have the hammer, which is pretty nice, but the hammer fight, it can be pretty tricky not to take damage on the ice floor with the hammer. You could use the boomerang, but that's gonna take a long time. I need like 40 something hits, I think, almost on each Armos with boomerang.
Yeah.
There's a cane. That's a pretty nice find, and that could be pretty helpful in the fight too. Just get some extra hits in. You could also use some bombs and the fire rod, but we don't really have enough magic to use the fire rod much. Most weapons works on ice armors or normal armors too, and there's some magic, so that's actually pretty nice. Could just like refill your magic and spam the fire rod on the last armors at the very least.
Yeah, and there's an interesting observation in chat here too. In non-entrance and non-glitched modes, Ganon's Tower, since it has the most chests of any dungeon, it has a junk fill, so that prevents or sort of kind of balances it so that there's only so much progression that can be in Ganon's Tower. But it looks like an entrance, there is no junk fill, so it's a much more valuable spot to check.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting now that he got the Canis Mario. I could actually do the right side of Ganon's Tower 2 now. Wouldn't be in logic, because we sequence broken that one, but it's totally possible. Looks like we're going for fire rod strats to begin with. But we're not gonna have enough magic to beat the boss this way. We're gonna have to switch to something else pretty quickly, actually. So that was basically 1.5 magic bars. It took care of 2 of them, and we're gonna switch to the boomerang. This is gonna be a glorious fight. So let's see what Kohrek is doing, and we'll catch up on P-Train in about 30 minutes from now. So Kohrek is doing that connector now, hookshot 2, so he's gonna get those flippers. He's gonna be able to mirror here to see Spiral Cave has. I think that was on the bomb style, and I don't think it led to anywhere really impactful, but maybe I don't actually remember disconnected to. P-Train is down to 1.5 hearts, so he's gonna have to be really careful for the rest of this fight. Oof. So P-Train unfortunately taking a death there. But probably just gonna go and check the right side instead. Or maybe not. Maybe we're skipping that too. Maybe he's thinking he doesn't have any magic. There is a small magic though in the right before tile room. So yeah, I think that boss fight is one of the things that hurt P-Train the most, not having the sword, because the sword is as slow as it could be. It's definitely a pretty safe way to just keep the armors away while still doing damage to them.
Yeah, and I think the fighter sword isn't too bad. There's some the way the damage tables work, I think the fighter sword is actually more powerful than the master sword or something like that. Can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think it's like something like that. Master sword acts very weird against a lot of like light world enemies, especially the bosses. And whoa, there's some gloves. That's gonna open up a couple of new locations, and we can full clear Ice Palace, and we now have proper Darkhold access for P-Train as well. So that's a really nice find.
Kohrek finds a pod small key on the Zora ledge. Oh, and book at Dig Game. I think P-Train maybe remembering the cape here, gonna mirror.
Yeah, also gets the entrance, which turns out to be nothing. Kohrek found, I didn't really catch what connected him over there, but he couldn't do much because he didn't have the gloves. P-Train, however, does. So if he managed to find that connector,
Kohrek remembering the small key here in Desert that you can get with the boots. Looks like another pod small key. Those are pretty nice to have since you need you need some keys to kind of get around the dungeon conveniently and get all the items.
Yeah, you need 4 as the minimum that you can have in order to full clear pod. 5 would be more preferable, because then you can open the middle door and just make the routing a bit faster. And wasn't a mirror bonk for Kohrek, but he's standing still because he does not want to jump down from there.
Yeah, and I think both of our runners know the hammer jump and pod, so that'll help them save a key there as well.
So apparently P-Train only got 2 of the chests in here. I'm surprised that he decides to head back in here of all places, though. Does have a lot of other places that have significantly more items, but these ones were really easy to get, and he might be thinking like, hey, I left 2 items in here early. That could have been something impactful or important. So I think the only drop down spot we haven't seen yet is Magic Bat, if I'm not misremembering. So if we beat Agate 2, that would be what we were to find if we jump down in the pyramid. It's always interesting when you're like, there's something there, but you have no idea what. I guess that probably means that our buffer runners just gonna hope that they never find powder, I guess.
Yeah, it is a little unfortunate because of that uncertainty, like you said. But it is just one item, so you can kind of hope.
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to be something that is going to be a priority in any sense. So, P-Train hasn't done a save and quit in a while. Did you get to see the green pendant was actually we already knew that, never mind. But Kohrek is about to get his hammer here, and that works well with what I was gonna say, because P-Train haven't saved and quit in a while, but we've never seen what was in that back of his cave. They do have access with that hammer that Kohrek is about to get as well.
It's like just some bombs in a big spot.
Kohrek? I guess Kohrek did check that Dark Sanctuary before, because he just dashed right through it now. Instead, catching up on some of these mirror locations. We do have a pretty fair amount of hearts at this point as well. Definitely not in the low percent of that cane at least.
Yeah, P-Train has his blue mail that he found in Ganon's tower as well.
You see Kohrek using one of these fairy spots. You're gonna see a lot of fairy caves, because there's just a lot of them in this game, both with big fairies and the small ones. And yeah, why not? If you're low on health, pretty good opportunity to just get a refill.
Yeah, especially since you don't really want to die in the Dark World.
Yeah, especially if Kohrek it doesn't have like proper Dark World access yet. So here we see some of the entrances near desert. I don't think we've seen these ones yet, especially not this one, because this one is blocked by the gloves. Small key to Thieves Town. Okay, that's pretty nice to get. We don't have the big key yet, and we don't even know where Thieves Town is. I don't think, at least. So, but it's nice to have for whenever that becomes a thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you're kind of forced, if you don't have it, you're forced to kind of leave it behind and then either, you know, decide whenever you want to go back or just gamble on it having nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of similar to like the Skullwoods big chest or the Ice Palace big chest.
Kohrek is now heading into Village of Outcasts, so he's probably gonna find Ganon's tower real quick here, or real soon, and might be doing the entire sequence break that P-Train did. Used to get all the way to Ice Armos. That would give him King of Samaria, would be the biggest thing, then a couple of other minor convenient things. And we'll see if he decides to do. He does have the sword for Ice Armors, which is nice. Getting our first check of the back of Escape here also. So compass, a big key, okay. To desert. We do know where the front of desert is. We haven't seen the back yet. And then we got a blue cane. The blue cane doesn't really matter too much. We already have the cape. We see Kohrek. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, just and have magic as well. So if they find Spike Cave, they can get through that just fine.
Yeah, I think we did see Spike Cave. I think it's actually somewhere in Kakariko. So that might be something Kohrek will do right away. But we did see Kohrek used didn't save and quit from the back escape. He just went out the normal way, just because he left that portal there, and if he saved and quit, that would have been gone. P-Train, having the King of Samaria, decided to go all the way to the front to escape, or not to escape, Tartrock. Using some of his keys to get here. Getting a sword, okay. Definitely not getting the same first swords, but that's totally nice anyways.
Yeah, we can probably expect him to find the second one. When he goes up into the Skullwoods area, he might decide to mirror from there, and then that'll take him to the Kakariko well.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. We also get to see where this exit leads to. Oh, okay. that's the Meyer one. Well, we can just open that up again then. I don't think we'll see, because if he decides to go all the way back again, that will spend more keys. So might not see that, but just opens it up in case he needs to go in there later.
Yeah, and Kohrek, choosing not to hover, instead uses a bomb jump to get over to this Stealthos room here.
Here we see one of the things with quick swap, that if you haven't really thought out in advance, or is there might just see our runners stand still and use quick swap menu for a while instead of just normal menuing. P-Train catching up with some of the things over here in Desert. I don't think we had too much super impactful here. Did see one new location, I think? No, probably not. Yeah, just doing some catch up. So both runners now have that Ether medallion, but we already know what's locked behind both Ether entrances, so it's not really that important. It could make Kohrek check the front of Tartarok that way instead of routing it from inside Tartarok, and he could save a key that way.
Looks like Kohrek is going to go for the Isomos, so we'll get to see what's behind here.
Yeah, he has Cane of Burna, which is going to help this fight a lot. Also have half magic, so even if it didn't, he could have used his fire on a lot more. Yeah, Cane of Burna is actually really effective as a secondary weapon if you don't have the bow.
Yeah, it just kind of lets you juggle the Armos here, damage them.
So what do we have here behind these Armos? We have a small key for Skullwood, so that's not super impactful, and just a map. So P-Train didn't miss much. He doesn't have a small key to Skullwoods yet, but he will get one as soon as he goes to Skullwoods. Just pick up one over there. And there's our small key to Hyrule Castle, so those big 20s that we got in Zelda's chest and the Boomerang chest is finally in Logic now.
Yeah, that front chest in Swamp is another important one to check. Key sanity, because you might not think, to check it. Used to the normal modes, it's always going to be a small key, but here it could be pretty much anything.
Oh, and Tile Room had the second glove. That is interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how that plays out. I think that in this mode you don't always need the mitts like you do in non-entrance, but it still could gate a required entrance. Just have to wait.
To get a big key to Hera as well, though, that one is fairly likely to be required. We don't know if Hera is a crystal or not yet, but yeah, it's more likely to be a crystal than a pendant at this point. But yeah, and for Kohrek, that's his first glove. So that just gives him access to all those gloves locations and just proper Darkhold access. This not in Logic because it's he got the cane from a sequence break, but yeah, as we mentioned earlier, they're not gonna really care too much about the sequence breaking. They just get the item so we can finish the game. That's the objective.
Yeah, and P-Train finds the Ganon's Tower big key on the hobo. May not need that, but it could also lead him back there.
Oh, was it? I totally missed that. Yeah, that could totally lead him back. That also opens up one more chest in Ganon's Tower too. There, Kohrek getting his mitts now. Opens up a couple of locations for sure. One of which we're gonna see right away. It looks like is taking the Smith back to his house. We can check hammer pegs. We can check what's in the normal ice palace. We can do the purple chest, and then not sure if there's too much else the myths would unlock, because we've seen connectors to both Dark Death Mountain and Mire already.
Yeah, and the Smith can actually be one of the more trickier items in entrance, since could be a lot of places, but here it's pretty convenient since it's just right there.
Yep, just hangs around there. Ooh, there's big key for Turok in the last mail upgrade. It's a Kohrek alpha male for sure now. But that big key for Turok, well, we're still sequence breaking, so it's worth like keeping in mind that we can't get the hook shot from anything that the myths is giving us, or the Kinos Maria, or in this case the Turok big key.
Yeah, even though you do want to sequence break, as you mentioned, just to clear out what you can, you still do want to keep in mind, what is and isn't in logic.
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially say if hookshot turns out to be like the go mode item, then yeah, you definitely want to make sure to keep those sequence breaks in mind. Got a unique item from the roller room there, or I guess we don't have any hints in this game mode, so do we even know if that's a unique item or not? It might just be another arrow laying around.
Yeah.
No one knows. So P-Train heading over to what's referred as the shopping mall. Just because there's a lot of shops here normally in Vanilla, and there's a lot of entrances here. And I don't think we've seen the light world of this yet as well. So this would be 6 new entrances in total. So say quite likely that we'll see something good at least. And hey, there's Thief Town. We found it. Don't have the big key yet, but get 4 quick items, and we still have 4 entrances left to go. Oh, and well, I guess we just check all of the entrances, or all of the items instead, because we got a vanilla big key. So why not?
Yeah, that's pretty convenient.
Yeah, that's, I think, the definition of convenient right there. And another big key for Eastern. Okay, don't have the bow yet, but that's a good find. And there's the powder. Sweet. Now that we get the bow, we can just Just need the hookshot and then we can go and check Magic Band after we kill Agatu.
Yeah, and with the big key and the hammer, P-Train will be able to figure this out. I don't know if it's a crystal or not yet. But it will be, more than likely it is.
So we did find out the Hera was a pendant. I'm not sure which runner found that information. But Kohrek does have everything needed to full clear it now, so that's another 4 items just laying there. And if he doesn't find anything else good soon, that might be one of the next things in his mind. But seeing where he's heading, he might actually be syncing up with P-Train soon. If he decides to use the flippers to get over there as well. He's gonna go into Meyer. Doesn't have the big key yet, but hey, we already saw one vanilla big key. Might see another. If it does get the big key in here, that would be a full clear. And whatever is in here is in logic. If we get the big key, the boss would not be in logic. But yeah, since we have the boots, wouldn't be all too surprising to see the hookshot in here.
Yeah, and Meyer is pretty. There's a lot of small keys available, but you only need a couple. I want to say 2 really to get through it conveniently.
Yeah, I think even if you just have one, like, it just makes things easier for sure. To get a small key from Swamp Palace in Meyer, that's totally what Kohrek wants to see right now when he doesn't have the hookshot.
We have a crystal at Thieves Town.
Yeah, it's actually our first dungeon complete, and in practice, our first crystal collected. P-Train finding the Great Fairy, just getting a bomb upgrade. Like, why not? If you find it, just get some extra bombs.
Yeah, that will give him a refill on top of 5 extra, so he'll be pretty much set for the rest of the
Yeah. And we did find our hookshot in Meyer, so that puts basically most of the things that we did back in logic again, and we do have a Swamp Palace that is fully clearable at this point. We also know that Swamp is a crystal. I'm not sure if Kohrek found the dam yet. I think he did. I know P-Train did.
Yeah, the dam is another one of those locations that's a little bit different in entrance. You just, you have to find the dam and you have to flip the switch basically, and that'll give you the item south of Link's house, and then it'll fill up the water for Swamp Palace.
So we didn't get a big key in here, but we got rewarded, that's for sure. it's so see what P-Train's next move here is. He's gonna go for the Ice Palace play. Makes sense. You can full clear it. It's a crystal. Anytime you can full clear a crystal, I think that sounds like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's right. And while P-Train is ahead by 1 crystal, he doesn't have the mitts that Kohrek got in his tower, which got him that Turtle Rock big key, and I want to say another big key as well. So still, it's still kind of uncertain at this point.
For sure. Yeah, the Skullwoods would definitely be interesting to see P-Train going back to as well, or not going back to. He hasn't even been there yet. Kohrek was the one who went over there. But yeah, P-Train can full clear the front of Skullwoods and also check that back entrance with the fire rod whenever they decide to go there. Both runners really have like a lot of interesting options open right now. So yeah, Kohrek going into Swamp. I think this makes a lot of sense. We're gonna get 10 items and we're gonna get a crystal. So in worst case scenario, if there's no required items whatsoever, at least he will get that crystal.
Yeah, so at this point, I think Kohrek could. It looks like Kohrek could also complete ice. P-Train has the GT big key. Hard to say whether that'll lead him back there, but he may need to go back to get the mitts and then the Turtle Rock big key.
Yeah. We know where 2 pendants are already. There is 3 dungeons left that could be pendants, and Turtle Rock is one of them. So if that happens to be a pendant, then it doesn't need that big key. But Kohrek just found a ice rod, so I imagine we'll find out soon enough if Turtle Rock is a pendant or not.
Yeah, and if he goes there, he'll probably also pick up that other sword that's in there.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's probably gonna get it after the fight, because probably go to the back first, just because after beating the dungeon, it's gonna spit him out in front. But with Fighter Sword or Master Sword, is probably gonna go for the hammer strats anyways, so that probably won't matter too much. P-Train is not finding a lot of stuff quite yet in Ice Palace, but we do have a few options left.
Yeah, I think the one item that we're still really looking for is the bow that we haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a bow would be a nice game changer. Finding pod would be interesting. We have a big key from Mire and a left side swamp. Okay, game. Well played. No way getting that big key before going into Mire. P-Train is taking a couple of hits here. Is gonna have to be really careful the rest of this fight. Has 2 puffs down. And gets the third one down too. Nice. Got a little bit unfortunate double hits there, and there's his massive sword. It's interesting the way P-Train is getting the hard-earned sword while there's still one just laying there in the Lost Woods.
Yeah, that fight can be a little stressful since it's one of the boss fights that is a bit more costly if you happen to die because you have to walk all the way back through ice.
Mm-hmm. So P-Train is looks like he might be going for this portal here. So we'll see if he goes. If he goes into the village of Outcasts, he's probably gonna go back to Ganon's Tower, and if he goes north instead, he's probably going to go into Skullwoods to clear that out and maybe and get some of those, get that sword as well. So either way, I'm definitely gonna find some good stuff. Kohrek going for the fighter sword. Argus here. We need double spins to kill them, to kill the small puffs. Seems to be making a combination of a single hook and double hooks. The double hooks are a little bit harder to get here. Let's see that can't really manage to get all of them.
Yeah, it is a little bit tricky since you need to move out of the way of the first one.
But yeah, still definitely doing a good job of it. Now just switching to Ice Rod instead of Fire Rod actually. Both of them do the same damage. Just needs one more hit. Now we get to see what's in the big chest of Skullwoods, so it's just a shield. And Argus just had a map. So Kohrek still found some good stuff. Got the Ice Rod, got a crystal, got a big key that we need.
Yeah, unfortunately, P-Train kind of left Mire behind, so he'll have to wait till he heads back there until he can kind of finish out Swamp.
Yep. And it's interesting. We do have Pod as a pendant. If Eastern turns out to be the second, or also being a pendant, we might not actually need Bow in this scene.
Yeah, that's true. It's very possible that we might not even find Pod at all if it happened, or if Eastern is a pendant and there's nothing required in that.
Back of Skullwoods turned out to be nothing. Kohrek is gonna find Feast on here real soon. And P-Train is gonna go for a Ped Shake. We do have triple bombs, so yeah, we're probably not gonna see that one happening. And P-Train is gonna go and pick up his Tempered Sword here. I wonder what's gonna go through his mind when he sees the sword, when he realizes how early he could have had a sword. But at this point, probably just happy to just get tempered at least. So P-Train, guess he never checked these as well. Makes sense if he never got to the forest. So P-Train is gonna go this way around, doesn't have the big key. So if you don't have the big key, you can go backwards in Turtle in order to check some of the items. Just gonna get a single arrow, so see where he decides to go after this. And Kohrek is gonna finish up with Thieves Town here, and we'll see where he goes after this. He has both Ice Palace and Turtle he can clear, and Meyer, so that's 3 additional dungeons that he could clear after this. Could even add a hero to that if he wanted to, but I think he knows it's a pendant, so that might be something that he'll stay away from for a while. So we haven't, I don't think, in terms of dungeons, we haven't seen Back of Skullwoods, I believe, and we haven't seen Pod yet. One of which might be quite important if Skullwoods happens to be a crystal. Pod less so, unless it has items that we need.
Yeah, it is one of the most one of the densest locations. I think you mentioned it was the densest dungeon besides GT.
Yeah, 14 item locations.
P-Train gets his Desert Palace big key. I don't think he's found the back yet, but that'll be nice when he does. He can just head right back in, kill land mullets.
Oh yeah, right, that would be another one that we would have to find. Oh, there is back in Desert. Or did Kohrek do this earlier? Did I just totally miss that?
Yeah, I think he found the back of Desert.
Oh, okay. I almost spaced out or something.
Okay.
Okay, no, wait, he's going in now.
Okay, maybe I was mistaken.
Yeah, so we're pretty much almost synced up in this dungeon. Both runners clearing out the same dungeon at the same time. P-Train just being a little bit ahead and start going in here. It's interesting. One way or another, Kohrek is really close to go mode. And well, there's our last sword. Sweet. Featuring getting the gold sword and Kohrek getting his master. Guess that guarantees Kohrek to have at least tempered in the end. But yeah, Kohrek is one way or another pretty close from go mode, but we don't know quite yet what we're missing because we don't know which the last two crystals is. And P-Train is a little bit behind in terms of the items, but not too far behind if you just I think like Meyer and pretty much Meyer and possibly Tartarok or possibly Ganon's Tower is the two things that is really holding his items right now. And he is heading into Ganon's Tower, so that's a good sign. He will get the mitts, and that'll probably lead him to the big key of Tartarok.
Yeah, at this point, P-Train really just needs to head back to Meyer so he can get his hook shot, and then from there, hopefully he'll get his Meyer big key there in a swamp.
Yeah, and Meyer is like really close to swamp as well. So whenever they do that, it would make sense if they just head to swamp right away. And you can see in normal modes sometimes runners tend to skip left side swamp, but it's a lot less it's a lot less unlikely that you'll see a runner do that in entrance shuffle key sanity, just because there's like so much more potential of getting burned for leaving stuff. So we'll see if P-Train, since he has the big key, he might decide to go full right here. Or he might decide to get that small key over here and go full left in order to save that key for a potential climb of Ganon's Tower. Or he might just decide to not go there at all. We'll see. But there is one chest left there in terms of the big chest. And he also never did the Ice Armos, so that would make sense for him to go back there. You know, Ice Armos won't really hold much. But he is going full right, which means that if he intends to climb Ganon's Tower later on, he is going to need to find one more Ganon's Tower small key.
Yeah, there are a few chests climbing up Ganon's Tower, and then plus the powder, which defeating Agatu would unlock that, but he might just be figuring that, you know, he still has quite a few dungeons left, you know, like Swamp, which have a lot of items. So probably just betting that he'll find what he needs there.
Did only get a piece of heart from that big chest, so that's gonna turn out to be okay for Kohrek to skip that. So Kohrek is not going like full beast mode, just going for the crystals that he can clear right now. He is still checking some item locations, some new entrances and stuff, because he is still looking for dungeons, and one way or another he still needs at least one more item. Now he has that big key for Ganon as well, probably one of the last things he wanted to see, but yeah, he'll probably avoid Ganon's Tower for quite a while, just because how long it takes to go back to that chest seems to not be a very good high priority to have at the moment. Ooh, here's a place we haven't seen yet. It was the Super Bunny Cave. It is a one-way trip though. If you go through there, you cannot go back again. So looks like Kohrek is gonna check these other entrances first instead. Who knows? Maybe we'll have like a vanilla pod here soon. Peter checking Mimic Cave. I'm not sure if we saw this earlier. If we did, it was just a piece of heart anyways, so it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so we paid off the monkey, and we got rewarded with a vanilla Palace of Darkness. Cool story. We have 5 small keys, so yeah. Kohrek seems very indecisive if he should do this or not, but it looks like he's deciding to do it. He does have like 5 small keys, so he can open up the middle door, make the routing a lot faster. And so yeah, having 5 small keys means that the bow could totally be in any chest except for on the boss here, I believe. Well, not on the bowl outside as well.
Right. But there's only 2 chests on that side.
Yeah.
There's still a decent chance you might find it here.
Bombos, that's not something we need.
U-Train picking up some hearts, might be wanting to come out the... Yeah, looks like he's going to exit. Don't usually see this. Usually you see a save and quit, but an entrance rando, more convenient sometimes to just walk all the way back up.
Mm-hmm. So I believe at this point the only... I'm looking through Kohrek's tracker here. Looks like the only thing he actually would miss for a potential go mode in terms of items would be the bow. Which definitely makes sense why he was so hesitant to do everything here in pod. Yeah, he's more interested in finding entrances. But yeah, he might need that bow, so...
Yeah, he was probably trying to be a little conservative and not go all in on Eastern being a pendant quite yet.
Yeah. Didn't we get a map for Eastern? Maybe that was P-Train who did it. But yeah, we haven't seen like a map check in a long time. Oh, and there's the bow. Okay. But Kohrek... Well, yeah, Kohrek wasted all his small keys, but that's fine. He doesn't need to beat this dungeon. He just wasted all of them because he knew that bow cannot be there anyways. So yeah. This means that we only have 2 entrances to find. 2 or 1. Kohrek. No, just 1 potentially. He could actually just be in full pledge go mode now if Tutrock or Eastern or both of them are just crystals. And even if Skullwood is required, I believe that Kohrek has everything he needs to find that entrance at this point. There's no new items that would open up like an extra entrance. So yeah, he should know he's in go mode at this point, one way or another.
Yeah.
He's gonna want one more sword, preferably, but as we know it, he's gonna get it one way or another anyways.
Yeah, he'll definitely be happy to see that.
Yeah, Petring now picking up that big key for Third Rock, which is really nice. He pretty much needs to go to not Hera, but to what's called Meyer at this point, and that will put him on the path.
Yeah, so far he's had a lot of other stuff just available to check. But hopefully he gets back there sooner rather than later.
So now that we finally have the bow, we can finally utilize those silver arrows we got earlier. Very quick kill there, and it's a pendant. That bow was not required whatsoever. So I bet Kohrek feels really happy about that fall diff now. Gonna check the entrance for Meyer here, because that's one of those entrances he haven't checked yet. He's just looking for the Skullwoods one. We know this is the front of Tartarok. And he might honestly just dip out right away. Like, there's no reason for him to think that there's a sword here. So he's probably not getting this sword. So I think, let's see, we never found like a connector to where Mimic Cave and all that stuff is normally. That could be something that has been overlooked. And in terms of connectors, I don't think we ever checked the bumper cave connector, so that could maybe be something. Ice Road Cave, not Ice Road Cave, but normal Ice Palace. I'm not sure if anyone checked that as well. That could potentially be Skullwoods at this point.
Yeah, I know Ice Palace hasn't been checked. I'm not sure about the fairy location either in the Light World.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then we have the Pyramid Fairy as well, which is open at the moment, I believe. The second 5/6 crystal was a Meyer? I'm not sure.
Uh, 5/6 was Desert and Swamp, I believe.
Oh, Desert and Swamp. Yeah, then you can totally do that. Not sure if Kohrek ever found the big bomb. I think it's like up on East F Mountain. So we definitely have access to it.
Yeah. Can he flute with a big bomb, or how would he get it to the?
Yeah, you would
pyramid?
have to flute. Saving quit doesn't work with the big bomb, so depending on the location, sometimes flute can be required just because of that. And Petring getting the hook shot. So I'm gonna get that Swamp Small Key as well. Kohrek going through Super Bunny Cave, something he skipped out on earlier, but it is a connector, so that could be the one that leads up to the Mimic Cave area, which would give him some new entrances to check. Making sure to get some of these quick locations out of the way, just in case he gets another sword. Did find the last key to Pod. Yeah, that won't matter much. Hey, and there we go.
Yeah.
Maybe we have a Skolas here. Wouldn't it be cool if like Pedestal just opened up a new entrance instead? And that would be like Skullwoods?
Yeah, that would be interesting. At this point, he's probably still glad he found that bow, since he has no idea where the swords are. So silvers will make that Ganon fight quite a bit easier.
Oh, Kohrek never. Yeah, no, wait. Kohrek did check this earlier, but he knows where it leads to. So this will lead him to the vanilla hookshot cave, which I think he never checked this one. And I don't think he ever found out what Tartarok was, so he's probably gonna check that too. We know that's nothing, that's just like a connector or something. Or maybe he did check that because he's actually floating away. And I guess the big bone was not up here. Oh, actually, he didn't beat Meyer yet, so apparently Meyer was that other 5-6 crystal, so he can't even do the big bone quite yet. And now it looks like he's gonna go and see. He was like, wait, Pod was vanilla? Maybe Skullwood was too. I think he's gonna be pretty disappointed with this shake. And P-Train is heading right to Swamp Palace, so this is a really good shake. It could definitely make up time. Right now Kohrek is doing a lot of overworld stuff that isn't really paying off. And if P-Train never gets baited into Pod, that would be a nice time save as well. That would also mean that he doesn't get baited into doing Eastern as well.
Yeah, that will save a pretty significant amount of time if he manages to avoid doing the Eastern Pod combo.
Yeah, and he will get the Ice Rod in here, which would technically be the last thing he needs from Go mode. Because I think, yeah, he has all the keys. He needs to go over and get the big key from Meyer as well on the left side. But as soon as you get both of them, that would technically be Go mode for P-Train. So yeah, if he just goes straight back to Meyer after this, which is really close by, then he might be on a really good path to just go moding the rest of the seed. But even still, I think Kohrek is definitely a bit ahead.
Yeah, he has a pretty solid advantage. Just hasn't done ice yet.
He's gonna end up go moding it, which is nice. He might like check two of the easier checks in there to try and get a sword, and then just see a sword at the end anyways. So yeah, P-Train definitely not skipping left side, as we theorized about earlier. There's no reason to do that. Kohrek forgetting flick the switch before going upstairs to victory is go for some silver arrows right in the eyes. Pretty super effective. I think that would be pretty super effective against most people, though, to be honest.
Yeah, that's pretty much the quickest kill you can ask for.
Yeah.
The victory.
Even managed to get in like the quick swap over to the mirror. So we'll see where Kohrek goes from here. He's heading to... Oh, was this where the big bomb was? No, he's going for ice palace again.
Yeah, and it looks like P-Train skipped the Swamp Big Chest, so at this point he might be just... Oh, he's going for the chest down here, but maybe trying to skip Eastern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he doesn't know if he needs the bow yet or not. So if Kohrek, not sure how much else Kohrek has left to check in terms of entrances. It should not be much. But he might just be like go moding the dungeons. He knows he's gonna need to go mode now, and might just like think about like what his options left are.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much he has left, but probably only a matter of time before he finds Skullwoods. P-Train looks like he's remembering he has the big key. I think I saw him check his menu earlier. So looks like he doesn't want to leave the bow behind after all.
Yeah, he might have just forgotten maybe that he had the big key. We'll see if he does the map check when he comes out now. Doesn't, so he might not think he has the map for it, or he might potentially not even realize that he could be in go mode if the bow is not required, because most of the times, okay, we see a map check here now. He didn't see Mire and Skull as a crystal, but he didn't see Turd Rock. So he might just be beelining for Turd Rock, and when he sees that is a crystal, he should know he's in go mode. Kohrek taking down Colster and getting that Tempered Sword. Kohrek into a laser bridge. This will be his 6th crystal, and he will only need to find Skullwoods after this. We won't have a big key guessing game for Ganon's Tower. First of all, because we don't need to go into Ganon's Tower again, and second of all, we already have the big key. So, I guess you guys are gonna have to wait until next week to get back on the leaderboard. Speedrun is back in Mire again.
Yeah, if he clears this and then heads straight to the bomb shop, probably save a little time. Kohrek still has a pretty solid advantage, though.
Yeah, for sure. Kohrek is several dungeons in terms of clears ahead, or several might be stretching it. Actually, he's a Turtle Rock one, and the rest that Speedrun has left here in Mire. But that's still definitely enough to be a lead, especially since Kohrek has already shaked more entrances than P-Train, so P-Train might have a harder time finding Skullwoods. So maybe this is where the big bomb was. I know it was early. Looks like, okay, Kohrek is heading up to East F Mountain, so maybe it was there after all then. Yep, there's the big bomb, so Kohrek knows what's up here. It's always interesting when you have crystal dungeons blocking the entrance for another crystal dungeon. It does tend to happen, and we see just him floating to 4, so he can use this portal and then walk over to the pyramid as you would normally do it. Kohrek picking up a another rupee there. That's unfortunate. He had a pretty cool count at the moment. So that's Mire down for P-Train. He's definitely back on track, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he gets his eastern map, so he'll know that it's a pendant. He checks. Looks like he is going to be going up here and maybe checking pod.
Yeah, might be. This connector might potentially lead him. Like it's gonna lead him up to Death Mountain. So maybe he'll like remember the big bomb and just do that and before going back to pod and all that. So Kohrek is on Mophila. It's 2 nice hits in early. That's the third one. Should only need 1 good hit left. There we go. That's 7 crystals for Kohrek. He knows where he needs to go. Where he needs to go is basically just mirror at this point, because Ganon is right here at the castle. One would almost think that this is inverted mode. Kohrek getting some nice trident spins there for a one cycle, and now going for the one-on-one stress. Basically, P-Train is up in the right areas here. Oh, but he's dashing away. No, that's unfortunate. You're so close, P-Train. Just go back. Go down this side. Maybe he'll go back after checking the tablet here. But in the meanwhile, Kohrek just needs one more hit in order to slay the pig. And there we go. Really beautiful Ganon fight.
Yeah, very solid fight.
Yes, I definitely get your GG's in for Kohrek. He has won this race. Do we have a official time?
We do. It looks like Kohrek's SRL time is 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 14 seconds.
Well, GG's, that's a real good time for a crossword shuffle. Not too far away from a sub 2, which is really impressive. And I think we are joined by Kohrek. GG.
Hey, GG, thank you.
So yeah, what's your initial thoughts after running through the scene?
This was a weird one, right? Like, it kind of routed really nicely. Just kept dropping items in my lap for a while, but at the same time, I literally last location my go mode entrance, so it was a weird one.
Yeah, it was a lot of good and like nice, convenient early items, but what were your like thoughts when you found Pod and you're like, oh, I might need a bow?
Well, I mean, at that point, it was very much in my mind that I could be in go mode, and I really just wanted to find Skull Woods so I could, do Skull Woods and Turtle Rock and see, but I couldn't find Skull Woods, so I was like, oh, there are a lot of non-bow locked items here. I might as well just go in.
Yeah, I mean, you did getting the bow, which put you in guaranteed go mode at the very least. It's unfortunate that you didn't need the bow.
Yeah, I mean, it does speed up Ganon at least, but not really worth it considering I went and did Eastern for no reason. So not worth it, buddy.
Yeah. And we did see you like checking a couple of extra stuff on the way. Probably because you were looking for a sword, I would imagine, which you ended up getting anyways.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to do Master Sword strats, but I also thought, there's 5 chests here in Hype Cave, and they're like right in front of me. I should probably do those, and I just kept doing it if I ran into stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It could go either way there.
Yeah, well, it was a very interesting race to watch. I think one of the big decider ended up being Meyer, having that hook shot and the access to Swamp. And I think we're joined by P-Train. P-Train did end up forfeiting in the end, but it was a really nice run from you as well, dude. GG's.
Appreciate it. GG, Kohrek.
GG.
So yeah, what's your initial thoughts on this one?
Well, for me, I probably had a very different experience with the seed than Kohrek did because I hovered like left side GT, and I got, I want to say, Cane of Samaria and some other things out of that. So I was in the back of my mind, like I was trying to keep up with what I was sequence breaking, and then I also knew, I think pretty early, that Swamp was a crystal, so I was trying to keep in my mind like where the hook shot could possibly be. But all in all, like I felt like the seed kind of like I never really felt like I didn't have something to do. You know, like I never felt stumped. Like I always had something to check. Like every time I got close to a last location, the game gave me another item. So this was kind of a real weird route for me. Like I think I finally checked Lost Woods at like the hour 25-minute mark, just because the game kept giving me stuff to check.
Yeah, then it ended up being your third sword, which is pretty interesting how early it was accessible. But yeah, both of you guys did the sequence break in Ganon's tower. Kohrek did the bomb jumps over, and you did a hover over. And yeah, it turned out to be quite a sequence break, for sure. But yeah, early on, I think you had a little bit of a lead because you got some of those earlier items, especially the mirror led to some nice items like the hammer and stuff. But yeah, you guys just got like everything early. Like I think 30 minutes in, we had like flippers, boots, hammer, moon pearl, fire rod, boots, and just like, yeah, most of the things you would want to have.
Yeah, I think the big difference here was when Kohrek went to Ganon's tower, he took the Cane of Samaria and went to the right side, and also managed to kill Isarmo since he had the Cane of Burna. And also he went into Mire a little bit earlier and got his hook shot, and then his Mire big key.
Yeah, I don't know why. I had so much else to check. I was trying to put off Mire until I found the big key, which really wasn't possible. I think we got both Hookshot and Swamp Palace Small Key in Mire. And then you had to go to left side Swamp to get the Mire big key.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting for sure. That's one of those required double dips.
Yeah, and then also I ended up getting the map to Eastern off of Argus, but I never checked it. I was still under the impression, up until the forfeit, I was under the impression I still needed the bow. So that was a mistake. That, and I never got to the pod area. Just I kept getting distracted by, either other dense entrance locations, or I got items that allowed me to clear, dungeons that I knew were crystals. So I just never got a chance to get over there, really.
Yeah.
Also, I just hate checking the pod entrance. It's so slow.
Mm-hmm. It ended up being pod, which had bow inside.
Which was funny because I was kind of avoiding that area because, like, my master plan, it would be awesome if I could find pod and clear pod, and then check that entrance and then mirror and turn in the green pendant. So, of course, pod and the item you need to clear pod were all in vanilla pod. So yep. that didn't really work out for me.
Yes, I think this puts Team 4K 4th and Forehead to 21 points, and Swearfinity is on 15. I think both your teams are still very much alive in terms of making those top 3 spots, if I have it correct.
I know we're still in the running. I think we're tied for, I mean, I don't know, I say last place, like as far as the people who haven't been eliminated from playoffs, but I can't remember who we're tied with right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you guys have your teams at least have another matchup tomorrow, I think.
Yes, that is Sabotender going up against Aktaboker.
Yeah, and I think we have both of them in chat right now, so that's definitely going to be an interesting one to watch out for tomorrow. Don't know if they've announced any of the restreams for tomorrow yet, but yeah, do you guys have anything else that you like, thoughts on the seed or the league or life in general, anything really?
Yeah. I mean, I just want to say, thank you guys so much for commentating. These are always a little bit tough, and having guys like you commentate it really means a lot. Thanks everybody out there for watching. It's been a fun league, and I'm really excited. Like the quality of the competition, Pete Train here. everybody in the league has just put up great performances. It's been fun. It's coming down to the end of the regular season, so I'm kind of excited to see how it goes from here.
Absolutely. I didn't really know what to expect getting into League. I didn't expect it to be not fun, but at the same time, like I've really enjoyed it. Working with both GFE and Sabo. I'm good friends with GFE. We play Smash and stuff like that. Our schedules line up, so we get into a lot of races together. But haven't really had the opportunity to work with Sabo outside of League, and just getting to meet new people and interact with people in a way that you don't usually get to do. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds awesome. Yeah, the league overall, I definitely agree with your guys' thoughts. So yeah, I think. Let me pull up the schedule. If we have any more games for tonight, we do not in terms of the league. I think the Link to the Past daily race might be going on now. But I'm not sure on which channel. But for tomorrow, there is 4 races in the league scheduled. None of them has been announced for restream yet, so keep an eye out for that if you guys want to see more cross-world key sanity, because there's going to be a lot of cross-world key sanity this entire week. But yeah, thanks guys for racing, and like GG's to both of you again, and thanks very much to our tracker. I'm gonna butcher this name. Seiru X. I'm sorry, I have no idea how to pronounce that, but thanks very much for tracking. Like, tracking these kinds of races is pretty chaotic, so that, like, major props to our trackers for sure. And thanks Cassidy Moen for commenting this with me for sure.
Yeah, thank you to Author. It was a pretty fun race to watch. Thanks to our tracker, GG to our runners.
Yeah, thanks guys. GG again, Kohrek. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, GG.